And so, you know, you don't have to go click the video anyway. It's just right there. This is my current thoughts on this patch. Obviously, I think Matari is the best. Temulch being the worst. You know, yada yada. It goes on the list. The tiers, the characters in the tiers aren't really ordered. That's just more where they're placed with the rest of the cast. But Matari has no disadvantage state. She attritions you for free, as in she fights you. She gets the heal off. You can't actually challenge her when she's healing. You have to heal as well. Or you're just going to wind up losing eventually. She can run away if she loses interactions, come back, fight you again, run away if she loses interactions, come back, fight you again, land one parry, your game is over. She keeps going. Extremely safe, obviously. Her ultimate is underutilized offensively. Viper has the best 1v1 in the game. There's no counterplay to be when you're silenced. You lose your ability to counterplay entirely, and her ability has a super low cooldown. It's an 8-second silence. It's a fake combo breaker. She's super low risk, high reward. Our ultimates are low reward. They checkmate you. Her third ultimate's really underutilized as well. Don't let these characters downplay you at all. I think Tarka is third best or second best. People really underutilizing him. All they don't want to do is cheese on him right now. You can use the ultimate to combo break, and if they run at all, you just turn it off, and they come back and fight you. You get a heal off. It will regen the ultimate entirely. You can use it again. It's very hard. You can outplay getting infinite pretty easy, but having to do that for 50 seconds, you will eventually just wind up losing, usually, unless they make a huge mistake. Which is hard, because if you parry Tarka when he's ulted, he can still just, you know, dash out of it for whatever reason they decided that was a good idea. Now, if you use, like, Fireball Tarka, however, he becomes a much worse character. He's probably, like, A- tier at that point. But if you just use a generic parry, parry Tarka with the first ultimate, he's pretty damn good. Monk is really good. He's a really good duelist. Bell's really, really good skill. It's just not as high reward as other 1v1 skills. His ultimate can do a lot, especially in threes, but in solos, unless you're in an in circle, you kind of just die usually when you use it. You have to use it. And if you have to move away, you have to move away. Or you pop it, they try to hide it instantly, and you instantly cancel it just to get a bit of a heal off, so you can have at least one more interaction with your opponent instead of just dying right then and there. Valda is like a higher risk monk. She has her bubbles, her F3, but her F3 can only really be used when you get light attack punished when you try to parry or something, so she kind of has to skew toward doing parries over and over in neutral. You can combo off of her F3, giving it offensive utility as well. It is a lot harder and more strict than comboing off her F1, though. And if you use her F1, she has a very, very high reward punish game that other characters don't have access to, besides, like, Tarka. That's very unique to her. Ultimates are terrible, though. Her F1 is completely useless. There's no point in ever using it. Her F2 is okay. If the wave lands, it's pretty good, but if it doesn't land, it's really bad, and it's pretty easy to avoid. F3, if it's like a Kurumi umbrella, you can't actually do anything. They can just sit behind the umbrella the entire ultimate, and the umbrella tanks it for them. It has some bit of utility, because you can, if you hit someone, you can wait for them right as they fall out and re-spear them and re-tornado them. I've done it a couple times to people. But if people just go under you and start slide uppercutting you, like, they can't really do anything about it when you're in it. You just lose it. You don't get a heal from it. It's kind of bad. Yoto I don't have much experience with. Her F3 is really good. It's countered by Tarka Fireball and Valda Water and Flamethrower and Cannon Splash damage and Swarm Splash damage. But those usually don't come into play until later in the game, and most Tarkas don't run Fireball. So you're pretty safe, and there's not many Valdas as well. Kurumi can actually knock her out of it, though. Her ultimate would be a lot better if there wasn't a lobby with 90% Mataris and Tarka players. It's mainly the Mataris, but there's, like, half Viper, half Tarka players usually, besides the 40 Mataris. So she's kind of a victim of the metagame right now. It's getting in circles with her. She's really good, as long as she's not the one that's just getting entered by everybody, which usually you wind up being because all the Mataris focus you. Kurumi at least has her own unique niche. I think that Yanya makes me a believer in Kurumi, but she is hard to play, and she's not that high reward for being hard to play. But she does have her own specific niches that only she can fulfill. She has really good inventory management because she only has to carry 2 heals. She has her own heal. You know, her ultimate's okay. Teleport's actually really good. It's just kind of hard to use. And then Temulch is a god in threes, but he's not very good in solos at all. He doesn't have anything that is good to him. He doesn't have like anything that's good better for him, right? Kai is the worst combo breaker. He has like the worst CC ability. He has like the worst ultimate in solos. Matari can just blink through it. You move faster through it now because of a threes balance change, so it's pretty easy to get out of. He does have an infinite that's very hard to utilize. It's not easy to do, unlike Tarka's. It's not people try to do it. So the reasons Matari is so good is, one, she's the obvious best character to escape in the game right now. The second best being Tarka. Obviously, there's counterplay to Matari's running away. You can do the lock on spam to keep her HP bar up. You can do a bunch of stuff, but realistically, Matari plays well. She should be able to get away. I know people bring up not being able to scale rush anymore, and like how that was like what was breaking her. But the reality is every character relied on using scale rushes before. It wasn't a Matari specific thing. You could literally break LOS with any character and scale rush away. Obviously, being able to blink onto a tree and scale rush instantly, or blink onto a tree and start healing instantly, was really good. But realistically, those nerfs hit every character, not just Matari, even if she was the somewhat best at abusing it. Now, a few things to note with Matari are, one, nobody actually understands that you can use her ultimate for offensive purposes, just if you just have to fight someone. If you just pop ult versus Viper players, they really can't do anything. By the time it runs out, you should be off of it. You shouldn't be silenced at that point, and you can blink away if you have to. It is nearly impossible to fight people without melee aim assist in this fucking game, honestly. You can, but the issue with that is that reliably hit people without melee aim assist, you need to rely on horizontal attacks, which all get ducked. This avoids that. That also avoids horizontals, but if somebody does like a roll, like that roll right there, that counts as crouching. It's gonna be really hard to hit anyone just flailing around without using the horizontals. But the horizontals lose to all the anything that low profiles, like Tarka's ultimate low profiles for some fucking reason. I learned that literally today. Another thing people like to talk about Matari is how, she's not good in combat. Her ability isn't good in combat. Blah blah blah. It's not good in combat. Here. Being able to do this on Wake Up and just completely remove like 90% of the counterplay that would happen to you. Like they aren't actually able to do anything. Right? They don't get to punish your Wake Up. Like other characters, you still have to play in the rock paper scissors mix up game with them on your Wake Up. Longsword can't toothpick Matari on her Wake Up instantly again. She gets to blink out if they're not late on blinking, which I don't know how you've messed that up. Right? This is even bringing to the fact that, like, after that, if she has a building around or anything she can actually use, if Matari is able to blink onto a roof and she starts to heal, right?
No.
You have to heal with her. She just reset the fight on you for free, and she does that every time she gets knocked down. Because if you try to go up and hit her, unless she just messes up, she will get a heal off on you and get advantage back. She's able to attrition people extremely well, where no other character can actually attrition people. So essentially what Matari will do a lot of times is they lose one initial interaction. Okay, they blink the high ground. They get over here in the tree, they start healing, they try to run away, whatever. And then they come back again. Alright, and their blinks are up again. It doesn't take that long to get blinks back. They're fighting you again, and then they blink again when they lose an interaction. Alright, they fighting you again, they get into the next fight with you, and they parry you, and now you're dead. You essentially won 2 fights with the Matari player, but because she came back and got, not lucky, but, she won an interaction that was really important. If you're not also playing Matari, she gets away. Or you die, whereas she would have got away in that situation, or had a chance to get away in that situation. Now, there isn't a exception to this rule in that she actually kind of has a bad matchup versus Viper. Because Viper can just use silence. and then she can reapply silence with her ultimate and keep going and keep going. Now, the issue with that is that Viper gets third partied, right? Viper can't just hit you for free. And people really, really underrate Matari's ability to just attrition you and just keep retaking fights with you no matter how many times she loses. Right? Yeah, she might not have the best abilities in in-game circle, the best ultimate in-game circle. But I mean, honestly, just doing this in like a super in-game circle would be like perfectly fine. Right? Obviously, you need to have all the utilities still, but doing something like that could easily win you an in-game circle. It's not on the same extent as like a monk or anything, right? And also having blinks when it's like the in-game circles are about like this big, right? This area. Having blinks in this situation lets you be not like you are never the one people want to focus. Because you are the hardest person to block down and kill in in-game circles. Up until it starts to close fully. So essentially this character is just really broken. She wouldn't be as abusive if she had to use like this blink. And I just hope they get rid of this right here. All I have to do to fix it really is get rid of this. You can't have a blink in a BR game, let alone 2 on a low cooldowns on a character. Alright. Especially one that has stealth to escape. Now, the next best character is Viper. Now, Viper does struggle with getting third partied, but she has the best ability in the entire game, and she removes ability counterplay versus her. If you are fighting a Viper player, you always need to ability early. She will know that. If you are fighting a good Viper, she doesn't have to just do this every time you hit her. Alright. Get it back really quick. And then, she gets her own custom combos with it, like that right there. I don't actually know if this one works, but you get what I mean. Right? If you do anything besides just 1-2 blue focus hold, she can easily counterattack you for over half your life bar. Right? Like, I mean, this is the super generic combo, whatever. Yeah, whatever. I don't have grapples, I was gonna do the grapple one. But you get what I mean, right? So you always have to respect that, because that can easily be half your life bar gone. And then you're silenced. Alright? And if you start to really pressure her out, people say her ultimate's terrible. Okay? Her ultimate is kind of cheese. But it's good, right? Like, it's still a means to escape. It's still a means to fight. Like, people still have to respect it when you do this, right? This is the third one. This one's definitely the best one. Like, no questions about it. And then that also staggers you. If you are comboing Viper while she has this ult running, and then you get staggered, she can combo you in return again. Okay? And people say she doesn't have escapes as well. And while it's not the best thing ever, if you did this, people can't grapple you. If you just get up above them, you can grapple away. Okay. She has so much stuff she can do that isn't getting utilized because all people know how to do is mash F out of hit stun. Like here. So we can't get a bot going really quick. Watch him hit me. This is all Viper's know how to do right here. And they do, like, almost all of them do that immediately, every single time. Like, no questions asked, that's all they will do every single time. You look at a player like, one of the Vipers I think is actually really fucking good and really hard to fight is Spaceline. Because when you hit Spaceline twice, he doesn't always just do this instantly every single time. You have to always be there respecting. He uses it in moments that it's good for him. Good for his advantage, But this character is just clearly the best at fighting. She can do wake up F off the ground, similar to how Matari doesn't really hear about it. But the difference is, if you read that and just hold blue focus charge, you can blow her up. Now, she can also get out of this really quick, though, with dodge. Alright, so I've tried to blow up some Vipers who use F into my third strike. And they can dodge that fast. Right, it's not really punishable at all, unless you just guess right 100% of the time. And you do it so preemptively you're able to actually hit it in time. Right? And it's like, there are other ultimates, like this one, it's not really that good. Right, but I mean, if you're in an open field, there's no bushes around, it's just a free kill. They can't do anything about it. There's nothing they can actually do about that. It's a 5-second stun. right? There's certain situations where that is just game over. And while you can avoid those as other players, if you put into a situation where you can't avoid it, similar to Tarka Infinite, how it's actually pretty easy to deal with. But if the end circle is a fucking open desert with no way to escape, you're just going to die. Alright. This character is fucking broken. I can't believe people actually undersell her like so much. It's crazy to me. I don't even know how to play her very well, and like I get my best results in this character when I play her like rage tilted like 5 games every like once a week. All right, so Tarka is obviously my first love. You know, I'm admittedly a tiny bit biased when it comes to Tarka. Now Tarka's strengths are one, his ultimate is really bullshit. The infinite is bullshit. You can do things when you're an ultimate, like you shouldn't be able to get parried and then do this. Right, that's absolute bullshit. It shouldn't be in the game. His ultimate shouldn't last as long. His ultimate shouldn't be cancelable, and then people like run a tiny bit of rage regen. So what they'll do is they get his stun, they'll cancel it. If they hit you, they'll infinite you. Right? Something that's not that well actually known, I'm guessing, from more lower level players. High level players started to catch on to this at some point. If I can get the bot to come hit me really quick. Is you can actually just get hit as Tarka, right? You pop ult, and then they're getting infinite right now. Yeah. Get what I mean, right? It's really crazy. And then you can also just pop ult and use it to get out of a combo, and then you turn off your ultimate. And then the next combo, if it's like a longsword toothpicking, you do this. And honestly, I think the parry's pretty bad. But it's still a way to combo break the stuff that's semi-fake. And you just dash out of it instantly. You don't actually try to use the fire punch unless they throw something super laggy into you. Alright. So, ultimate lasts too long. It's way too good. Being able to cancel his ultimate's kind of bullshit, in my opinion. His parry isn't actually that good, but it's still a combo breaker. So you have to play around that multiple times. When he's on ultimate again, you know, he has the parry. He doesn't have to worry about getting parry when he's in ultimate. He doesn't have to be a blue focus when he's in ultimate. You have to respect Tarka entirely when he is ulted, which shouldn't happen. People complain about chasing Tarka, however, with his ultimate. And I've even seen some good players be like, well, I just died to his fire trail. And I don't know how the fuck you do that, by the way. You literally can't, like, chasing Tarka when he's ulted is really fucking easy if he's low HP. Alright? You just need to grapple next to him. Occasionally. You don't need to just grapple every 1 second, right? You just stay in the air, you grapple the ground near him, you just keep following him and following him. He has to stop eventually. Right? It takes a little while, but you can do it pretty easily. It doesn't take 30 grapples either. It takes like 10. Now, that being said though, if you don't use this ultimate, Tarka isn't actually that good. Right? Fireball Tarka is probably a like bottom A tier character. You cannot use his ultimate out of his stun at all. Fireball is good, but you can get longsworded, and longsword is very prevalent in the meta right now. You know, infinite isn't as readily available to you. He still gets some of the bullshit when he's ulted, but he doesn't get the increased energy regen, so it's a bit easier to deal with. But when he's using something like this, he's actually not that good. It's definitely more fun to play him like this, though. Obviously, also, Tarka is always carry katana. Like I said, the infinite is removed. I guess something I actually didn't bring up with Viper is that she can also get out of toothpicking with her F. Similar to Tarka, how he can parry after the second toothpick if you're not like super high ping and get out of it, which is a very good tool to have right now. But yeah, so that's pretty much why he's like the third best character. I think people just get really frustrated playing versus him. Like actually dealing with infinite isn't that hard. It's just annoying because you have to do a lot of like this to him. You have to always be running when he's ulted. It lasts so long. So, you know, tune all that back. You won't be that frustrating to play versus. So, base monk is probably the second best tools in the game, in my opinion. The bell is an extremely good tool. You know, you can afford to make mistakes when you are playing monk. If you get parried, you can just bell. You reset the neutral situation, pick up your weapon, go back into neutral. You can try to play really safe with that time frame you have till you get bell up again. You can run skill cooldown to keep using bell. You know, if you get you try to parry and it gets punished, you can bell. If you just need to not have to deal with the guess in a situation, like you're fighting a great sword, you hit the stone form, you don't want to take that chance on losing half your life bar to the 50-50, you just bell, reset the situation, use it a lot. Now, his ultimate isn't that good. It has a lot of potential, but it's very, unless the in-game circle is really good for him, it's not actually that good. It essentially just functions as a heal in most situations. People will do this, and you run and they instantly cancel it. It's just a full heal really quickly. You can get the bell cooldown back for another interaction. Obviously, in threes, his ultimate is fucking insane. It has like a fucking 5k HP. Unlike solos, where if another guy is just shooting with a bow, you're just fucking dead. But he's still probably the second best duelist under Viper. I think him and Valda are very similar, actually, like tier play scenes and duel prowess. It's just that his is more, you can erase any mistake, or Valda can't really erase her mistakes. She just is able to increase it more, or like increase her punish game more. Obviously, as well, if you get toothpicked once, you have the bell option to get out of it. You're able to get out of dagger stuff. You just don't have to deal with as much bullshit as other characters do. But with that, you don't really get like a way to escape third parties. You have to stand your ground. You have to fight. You have to utilize bell if you want to succeed. You have to draw out fights so you get as many bells as possible in it, as many chances to win neutral as you possibly can. You have to play well to play Monk, unlike the characters above Monk. So I'm not fully sure on Valda. I think she's probably about right here. I think she's similar to Monk. The difference between Valda is that if you run F1, Valda has an insane punish game. Pretty much any hit can convert into like 180%. You usually don't actually touch death people in game. You don't really have gold weapons. They always have health and melee resist on some levels. You don't really get your touch of death, right? But she has a really obnoxious punish game. But you can still have a pretty good punish game with her F abilities, or with her F3 anyway. And the strength in the F3 is that it can double function as a combo tool. If you get a solid punish like a katana or longsword or dagger, spear and greatsword have really bad punishes with F3, but they can still kind of do some mix-ups, right? But she has stuff like let's just do that, something like that. You can do that to trap people. Just as a really quick example, you can also just straight up combo off of it with this right here. This isn't guaranteed versus people that have, it's not guaranteed versus, like, Bell. It's not very guaranteed versus Matari, unless you do it perfectly. It's not guaranteed versus, like, Tarka. It's not guaranteed versus Viper. But it's really good to be able to turn your defensive utility into a really strong offensive one, which you can actually do. Now, the problems with this, you would think that maybe, okay, well, how is Monk Bell better if she could do the same thing, but maybe you can take your turn with it? And it's because the only thing this is good for is dealing with light attacks. If you get parried and you hit F, you can't parry, you can't do F until they hit you with the parry attack. And two, generally speaking, what actually winds up happening is you use F, they destroy your first bubble, and then you take the second hit of the parries anyway. You can't do anything about it. Now you might be able to use it versus Dragon Slayer. I haven't actually tried that yet. Nobody uses Spear because it's terrible compared to everything else in the game right now. But so the only thing she can actually do right now is she needs to just play in a manner to parry fish. Because the only thing that she can really escape from is light attacks, right? And the only way you can punish parry, like, most people are sitting here doing this, and then she just all of a sudden parries, right? And they cancel their blue focus, and they go into the light attack. And they go for your punish, that's when she can actually utilize her F defensively to a strong capability. However, if you do this and you get parried, she can't do anything with her F. She has to just hold that shit. Right? She can do something in the wake up after she gets hit again, but in a lot of situations, you're probably almost dead anyway at that point. Right? So with this character, you need to be parry fishing a lot more. Now, what holds this character back, I think, from actually being maybe better than Monk, is that her ultimates are fucking terrible. Okay. Uh, this ultimate is a glorified Tarka parry. This one right here. You still take full damage when you're in gold focus from attacks, I'm pretty sure. But it might be halved. I've been killed to that gold focus many times. You can use this to escape toothpicking, but it's very easy to actually dodge the wave unless you were able to hit them or CC them before in some manner. And then people like to just knock people out of your wave so they can kill you still. What you can do, the wave does land though, is you can try to heal up. You're able to get a heal off, then grapple, and then get away if you have to. You can use it to try to set up a damage on them. You know, you can pull out a bow, you can headshot them. You can do a lot when they're actually in the air. I mean, you can heal once, then hit them. You can heal once, grapple away. You can heal twice, stand your ground, fight. If somebody's using a script to master E key, though, it's fucking useless. But I only know like one player who actually does that, and they're a fucking loser. But and then you know her other ultimates. I was trying to use this one for a while, and the problem with this one is if somebody is under you, it's like nearly impossible to hit them. I've tried so many times to people that are under me. I don't even know if it works. Right? You don't even see it going down there when I do that. It just stops on the platform. I'm pretty sure you can get it under there, but it's so weird. People just sit under you and they do this. I do this. Every Valda who does this ultimate to me, I just sit under her and do this. Over and over, and it breaks her out. It does not actually full heal her when she uses it. However, it does have one interesting thing I figured out with it. And that's that you can't really test it on bots that well. But let's say the player is mashing. I can sit here and just wait until I see that bubble about to break them free. And then I can just reshoot them as they're falling. And they can't really do anything about it. And they're just re-tornadoed, letting me get free damage. You can't do all 5 that way unless the person is macro scripting. Like, you know, auto-clicking their E key. Or auto-pressing, whatever. But that is, it's like one secret utility that people are actually utilizing when they use it. Making it, it's actually pretty good if you get into like an in-circle situation because it can stall out the game longer for you, but it's not like as good as Monks. And now, however, this first one, you know, this is actually worse than pretty much every basic ability in the game on top of all the ultimates. You see, you get the tidal wave, and then you get one hit, right? And now, generally with that, they can actually get out of that and punish you most of the time. Like, as you're coming down, it's actually their turn first in a lot of situations. Alright, and you can't cancel it and keep them in the air, because once you cancel it, they fall out of the tornado, and then it's 100% their turn. And they just get a free attack on you. It's just really bad. I don't know the point. I don't even think it's good in 3s. So hopefully this one versus, like, for that. But, character has a lot of, like, underutilized stuff, even for me. And she'll probably move up a little bit, especially if they buff her ultimates at all, but I think right now she's probably like right here. So I don't actually have all the ultimates and abilities on Yoto. I don't ever play this character. She has some cool shit with combos she can do. That she can like actually abuse and utilize. Her F3 is honestly really busted. The only counterplay to it is certain abilities, or if you have a flamethrower, or I believe cannon works as well. If cannon works, swarm probably works as well, but we're talking about late game crate weapons as a counter to it. She will be able to reset fights multiple times versus you. Not escape, but she can reset and start healing in your face, and you can't really do anything about it. Occasionally, her F3 will bug out when you hit her in it anyway. But if you try to challenge her when she's in it, and it doesn't go well for you, trust me. She has a few bit of cheese, like a few cheese things she can do, like with this. Where what a lot of Yotos will do is they like wait for it about to run out, they come over here, and then they press F on you. Right, I don't know if that F, actually it might cast just by itself at the end of it. Let me check. I can't even reset the cooldown, you get what I mean. A lot of Yotos will try to cheese you with that, where like they'll run at you, they'll do this, and it's a gold focus attack that fucking is a combo starter, it's insane. Now, the problem with Yoto, however, is I don't think she's actually very good against the meta picks right now. She's really, really bad versus Matari. This ultimate, while really good at Encircle, most of the cast, you can't do anything to counteract this at all. Right? You're just literally just over. Right, now there's some of the casts, however, if you ult them and the first hit lands, you just get a guaranteed kill. There's nothing they can do about it. And they buffed this ultimate a lot, actually, so now you can use it. You know, I think it's the second one that's the best one, or the third one, I don't remember. It actually heals you a bit now when you use it. One of them heals you basically to full if you get any hits with it. It's actually pretty good. The issue is just there's always 40 Mataris in a lobby, so you don't get to utilize it that much until end circle. So you have to just utilize your F3. She's actually really good if you play really safe. Sykin's a really good Yoto. You should go check him out. He kind of rats, but you know, you can use his character really effectively. If Matari drops out, I think she actually probably moves up because she becomes one of the best duelists. Because using this in duels is like just free damage. It's a free neutral win. It's crazy. Right. Obviously, like I said, she has her own custom combos she could do. I don't know them. I don't like this. I don't like playing this character. I don't like her skins. I'll be real. That's why I don't like playing her. But I think she's probably about right here. So I'm by no means good at this character. I think Yan makes this character look potentially good. I know she was nerfed because of Chinese solo queue or whatever. I've watched Chinese games. I don't think there's anything special going on there. I think they just play differently. They'll play safer for in-game circles where in everyone just ends. Just why she was nerfed. I mean, I guess everyone ends in China servers too. That's why everyone plays fucking Viper and Tarka. But she has some cool tech she can do, like, no, not that. Slowly quick. She can do something like this. Right, it's not like that good, but then you can do this and you can instantly teleport, which I used the wrong button because I need the fucking bindings. You know, the teleport's really good. She can also teleport while silenced, unlike a lot of other characters. You can just hide behind Umbrella in a lot of fights. This consumes auto aim from other players. You can abuse it. You can also use this versus Valda's F3, which pissed me off when I learned. They can just sit behind it and take your entire ultimate, and you can't do anything about it, and then just kill you for free. You know, she has a better inventory than everyone else because she only has to carry 2 heals on her, so she has the most resources for in-game fights. Her third ultimate's her best one. Oh, that's what I wanted. This ultimate right here. I know some players have said that it's not that good because you just focus attack her, but it's still a way to escape a combo, get a bit of HP. It's still good. Right, it's not bad. Her problems are just that, like, she's hard to play compared to how... So she's really hard to play, effectively, in my opinion. For how much work you... Like, for how much work you have to do, there's not much reward. Right, I think she probably is better than what people think she is. I think players like Yanyan's or Mino, who I believe dropped the character, proved that. But she just isn't worth the effort putting in right now. Maybe next patch, if they actually nerf some of the top 2 characters, she will be. There's also one of the things she can do, and that is like using this to the gold focus, not heal back. You can do that versus Yotos as well, by the way, knock them out of their circles. You get cheap alt guard with that. You know, you can abuse it. Teleport's really good. Obviously, you know, if a blink is really good, then teleport's the next best thing. Yeah, so that's probably why she's about right here. Alright, so this character is arguably the god of 3v3s. If you don't have a Temulch, you kind of just lose if they have a Temulch. In 3s, it's a completely different game mode. Like, there's a lot of chaos. You can actually land these. Right here, you can use it like that. You can actually get cheap love guard with that. However, in solos, if a Temulch is ever trying to throw his F at you, you can legit just do this. So it hits you once, you just dash away. And it's super easy to deal with, right? If you get caught by it, it's your own fault at that point. He does have some shit in solos, like he actually has a semi-practical infinite when he ults you. If he catches you on the rim and hits you back into it, he can actually uppercut loop you with his Wisp 1, I believe it is. I don't know it at all. I can attempt to showcase it. The skies darken, my winds. But it's something like, you know... Let's see if I can't do this. Yeah, I can't do this, but it's something like that. You just go back forth uppercuts, and you just keep rejuggling with this. over and over. It's an infinite. You can do it. It's instant kill. But that's kind of where his usefulness dies in solos. Using his F as a combo escape isn't actually that good. Most combos use vertical attacks, so when you try to F, it just hits you anyway. And you F again, and it hits you anyway. The utility in this blocky projectiles is still okay in solos. But something in the trios is where this really starts to shine. He's just incredibly weak. He doesn't really have much he can do. Other characters can't. The prevalence of Matari can easily blink through your ultimate. You know, kind of defeating the purpose of using it to try to reset fights at all. And with there being 40 Mataris running around, you're kind of just a victim to the metagame. He really needs like tuning for solos, but it's really hard because obviously he's supposed to be a 3v3 focused character. I think making his F actually be a proper combo escape would go a long way, though. Because currently it feels terrible to use. I only play this character in 3s, so I don't have much experience in solos, but he really is really digging at the bottom of the barrel for his effectiveness. Like, everything he's supposed to be able to do well, the characters do better. I don't actually know if he has anything that I can like consider a like strong trait where like, you know, every character above him has their own unique traits, right? But this character has like a custom infinite, I guess. But if you want to play off infinites, just play Tarka. Right? If you need a combo escape, play Monk or Valda. If you need to CC, play Yoto. Play Yoto or Valda if you need CC. Or play Viper. You know, he doesn't have any redeeming qualities for him. He's might be even well. He's not worse than B tier because this game is actually pretty well balanced. It's just that the top 2 characters are just better at playing the game than everyone else. There's not much point in playing anybody besides those 3 right now. But yeah, he needs help. He's struggling. He's struggling hard.